Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. It is Monday. Well, actually, it's Tuesday because the stock market was closed on Monday. So we're taking a look at the account. We're looking at some options that expired worth this on Friday. We're looking at some of the plays going into this week, some of the plays we already have on the table. And we're just kind of looking at how the month of May went. We are into the last week of May. This was a long month. We had a lot of trades that went with us, went against us. And we just worked through them, right? Some of them we had to roll, some of them we let go, and we're heavy cash. But I want to talk about how much does a $145,000 portfolio pay you. We'll take a look at what it paid me this month, what we're averaging over 2025, and what the potentials could look like. So let's jump into it. First things first, nice day today. We are at all-time highs as the recording of this video. We just hit $145,000 right before this video, 119. We're sitting right under 145,000 as of right now, and things are just really going our way. Over the last week, we're pretty much flat. Over the last month, we're up 20% or 24,541. Year to date, we're up 15,000 or 11%. 1 year, we're up 52%. And then all time since I moved this account over in March, over in March of 2023. When Robinhood decided to enable options trading, I moved a bulk of one of my funds over here, about 80,000 or so, and we built it. We had a massive pullback from the tariffs a couple of weeks ago. We have rallied back since then. We've cashed out on a bunch of stuff. We've de-risked, and we're sitting up about 80% in the portfolio, or $64,000. So not too bad for cash gear puts and covered calls. If you're trading in Robinhood, you know that you only can trade level 1 trading in IRAs. You're not allowed to do spreads or anything like that. So you have to trade just the basic cash gear puts and covered calls, which goes great with my strategy because I like the single base hits and I like to slowly but surely build the balance over time. Obviously, we've had volatility. Obviously, when you own assets in a portfolio, you're going to have volatility. But right now, we are into a really good position. We have de-risked heavily, and I'm going to try and move this account more up and to the right, but we'll see how long it goes by just selling cash gear puts every single week and then a couple covered calls on funds that we already own. So what do I mean by that? Well, as of right now, you can see the buying power is at 45,756. We have puts on the table as well. We're sitting about $92,000 in cash in this portfolio. So about 64% in cash, which is a heavy cash position. The reason why is because we just de-risked heavy out of Connell and we de-risked out of MSTX. So we got rid of a lot of our crypto plays as Bitcoin is nearing that all-time high of $110,000. So we've de-risked there. And now we're back to the cash gear put game. We're playing the 0.05 to the 0.15 delta puts each and every single week. We're mostly playing all weeklies, and we're waiting for red days for the most part, and we're selling cash gear puts, and we're rinsing and repeating every single week. And that is how we've averaged over $3,000 a month every single month so far in the year of 2025. And that is how I plan to get this account to 160,000 by the end of the year. And I think we can do it. So we'll take a look at that. But that being said, let's just take a look at the history. So what have we been up to in this account? So last week, we sold some calls and we sold some puts. TSLO, we sold the 12 puts for the 150. We sold the 11.5 puts for the $140 credit. We sold some MSTX puts for a $400 credit. We sold Soxel puts for a $204 credit. And then some of these expired worth this, right? So on Friday, or on the 23rd, the 34 puts expired worth this on MXTX. Clean Spark calls at the 11 expired worth this. Hood puts expired worth this at the 51 strike. Soxel calls expired worth this at the 18 call. And then this morning we went and we sold some more options, right? So it's a shorter week. We had Memorial Day yesterday if you're watching this on drop day. And so that means we have a short week. We have just 4 days. And after this, we really are just trading for the 3 days that remain in this week. And so we sold some relatively safe Soxel calls. Soxel is currently trading around that 17-ish mark, maybe 17, 25, 35. And so we sold some Soxel calls for just $54 worth of credit, collecting a little bit of rent on our shares there. And then we sold some Clean Spark calls at the $105 credit at the 10.5 strike. Clean Spark is currently having a nice day, up about 6% and trading about $9.90. So we left it some room to run there. Happy to let the shares go if we get in the money, but I don't think it's going to challenge it. It's going to take a nice move to even get there. So those are some of the trades that have happened as of now. These are all the ones we have on the table right now. So we talked about the Clean Spark calls. We talked about the Soxhole calls. These are the Soxhole puts. We sold these really, really aggressive to try and get assigned here. And yeah, we're up about 52%. So we could close this out if we wanted to right now. We got paid $204 for that. So we're up 108 on it as of right now. Nice pull on Soxhole today. Currently up about 10%. And we do have NVIDIA earnings this week. So that's going to move this ETF a lot. Especially all the semiconductors are going to move off of that. So that's the play on the NVIDIA earnings in this account. And this is at the 15.5 put. So we're looking really good for right now. Hopefully I can theta decay this away, maybe close it out at the 70-80% and then move on. But again, I'm happy taking the shares at the 15.5 if we end up getting there. Another put, we sold 10 of these. So we put our money where our mouth is on this. That's $29,000 worth of capital. You can see here, we're up about 25% on this as of right now. We got paid $400 for these puts, and we sold them on the 21st. It's currently at a 0.09 delta, so the stock really has to move for us to get in the money. IV at 186%, and we're just kind of sitting on these. We sold them on the 21st. They expire on the 30th. It's end of the month play, and I like the risk reward here. So that's the MSDX puts. That stock's currently trading even today, and then the TSLL puts. We're up $110. We are almost, once we get to the 0.02, I'll probably close these out. We're up 78% on the play as of right now. On the 21st, we sold those for 140 premium. So we're just chilling on the TSL outputs. And then you guys know we sold the Connell puts, we sold the Connell calls on our shares. It's a monthly play. We got paid $939 worth of premium. And these are kind of just set it and forget it for me, right? If they get called away, great. If they don't get called away, also great. IV 117%. Connell is currently trading at $28.80. And happy to let them go, happy to not let them go. Don't care either way. I'm collecting over 10% on my money for the month on this particular trade. And so we are just chilling and letting those ones go. We let 1,000 shares of Connell get called away, so we only have 300 shares left, and we're just willing and dealing on those. Once a month, click a couple buttons, collect 10%, rinse, repeat, and we just keep moving. So those are the options on the table as of right now. No contributions this year. Again, still working with the CPA from last year to see if we have to do the backdoor or how we're going to be able to fund this account this year. But you guys know every other year before this, we were maxing it out, right? So 2024, maxed it out. 2023, maxed it out. And then 2022 is when I just started moving the account over, right? Robinhood wasn't a big platform when it came to IRAs, and they did not allow for options trading. And so as soon as they allowed for options trading, that's where we started moving a little bit of money over here to start trading with. So max out 2023, max out 2024. I'm going to max out in 2025, just trying to figure out the CPA if I have to do the backdoor Roth or if we just skated under the income limit. So that's where we're sitting there. So $145,000 in the account, $45,000 worth of buying power. Everything is green today. And so I'm not selling any puts as of right now. The one stock that I have been looking at is NVDL. Unfortunately, it's having a 6% day today, so I don't want to sell a put on it. I don't want to be greedy, but we do have earnings this week. You can see that this stock's up 52% in the last month. Over the last 3 months, still down about 12%. Year to date, down 22%. 1 year, down 8%. And yeah, the rest is history. So this one's been beaten down. I like it in the mid-30s range. So I could come in here and obviously sell the put. And the premiums are super elevated, right? Even down here, let's see where we get to the 1% on my money. So I'm here at 1% on my money for the most part at the 42 strike. Let's take a look at the delta here, 0.08, so pretty decent. We have to have a massive move in order to go on the money. IV is at almost 200%. So there's definitely juice in the premium there. Lots of open interest, lots of volume at 359. And yeah, I don't mind the look at this one. Let me just look at where all the volume is. Let's look at the puts. Yeah, so you can see, look at this heavy volume at the 45 strike. We're sitting at 1,296 for the volume. And then, yeah, there's spurts of volume here. There's some volume at the 40 for 23. That's about 0.5% on my money. Really good volume there. There's some good volume at the 39. So looks like a lot of people are playing it pretty safe. This is pretty low return on your capital if you're going to go for something like the 39 strike. But you can see there, those half strikes just don't have a lot of volume, so you're not going to get a good fill on those. So you're going to have to go with the 39, 40, 41 if you want to try to get better fill. And what I mean by that is, let's say we pick this one right here. We can probably get a fill for the 32 because of how much volume if we wanted to do that. That's less than 1% on our money, but that means that NVDL has to pull down from a 52 to a 41, right? So massive pullback for me. I'm just chilling. The stock's up for the day, and it's just part of my strategy. I like to sell puts on the red days, and if it doesn't come to me, it doesn't come to me. But I do want to jump in the spreadsheet, and I want to talk about why I'm not pushing really hard, right? So here's every single trade that we have in the account for the entire year, if you need to see that. But I want to talk about the numbers because we are at the end of the month, and we were talking about how much does a $145,000 portfolio pay me? Well, you can kind of get a brief synopsis of how it's paid me so far this year, right? And I keep it super simple with cash here puts and covered calls. And I'm sure many of you that watch these videos are doing the exact same thing each and every single week. We just keep it simple. And the goal is 2 to 4% a month. So far, we've hit that goal every single month. March was a little bit low at the 2.52%. But the balance is slowly growing back, and we're getting higher cash values, which means we're going to be de-risking the portfolio a lot. So where are we at? Well, in January, $5,400, almost $5,500 with the premium. In February, $3,569. March, $3,222. April, $3,384. And then May, so far, $3,425. So you can see that we have a really good average. Our average is $3,818 so far in 2025. And that's a really good average on a portfolio. If you can collect 2% a month, obviously we're talking about 24% a year. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that the account's going to move up 24% a year because you own other assets in the portfolio. Obviously, we have Tesla in the portfolio, we have Amazon in the portfolio, we have QQQ in the portfolio, right? We have Hood in the portfolio. So there's a lot of things that are also moving the portfolio, and we've seen that over the last month as this account started the month of May at 122,000 and now is sitting at 145,000. But you can see that there's consistency here, right? So there's consistently income coming in, and this is the way I like to trade IRAs because A, you're not paying any taxes on it, and then B, this is the best way to be able to add capital to a portfolio without being able to add capital. When we're talking about a taxable brokerage, I can just deposit money in there tomorrow if I need it, but in this portfolio, I can't do that, right? You only have a set limit you can deposit each and every single year, whether that's backdoor IRA contributions or just regular Roth contributions. And that's it. That's the most you can put in, and there's no more money you can put in. So what I like to do is I like to trade options. I like to sell puts. I like to generate cash, and then I like to grow the portfolio that way. And obviously, it's worked out really well for me now. Hopefully, we can just continue to keep this consistency as we go forward. So we're over $19,000 worth of premium collected and booked in the portfolio so far. And this is where it's come from. We've sold a lot of puts and a lot of calls on MSTX. Currently, we own 0 MSTX, but 6,688. And I'm going to play that probably until July or August. And then I'll probably start playing a little bit less. But you can see I'm playing way less risky when it comes to my strike prices. I'm trading low deltas. Most of them below the 0.1 delta because I want massive moves to be able to happen and still not get put the shares. So that's where all the money's come in so far. And then I do want to take a look at just kind of the trajectory, right? We talked about this. We do this in a couple of portfolios. Last year in December, we said, if we hit 2% every single month, where can I grow this portfolio to by the end of 2025? And are we on pace? Well, right now, to be on pace, we need to end the month at 139,000. It looks like we might be able to do that depending on how things move. But we're at 145,000 as of right now. So we're sitting about July numbers, which is good to see. The goal this month was $2,785. We're sitting at $639 over the goal as of right now, and we're pushing closer to that 3% mark. The 3% mark puts us 961 short there. I know I'm not going to make $1,000 in the next 3 days trading options unless it went super risky, which is the exact opposite of how I want to trade this portfolio. And so we're just going to keep whittling away at it, collecting some more income, and slowly building up the balance. When I talk about the balance, we're done for this year, we're done for this month, right? We hit the 2% goal, and we're just moving towards the balance goal. The balance goal by the end of the year, you can see here, December is 159,000, and then that brings us up to about 3,100. Every single month as the balance grows, it gives us more buying power, more leverage, and it moves up our 2% goal, right? So next month it'll be 2,840, the following month 2,897, and then by the end of the year we're about $3,200 a month. And as we continue to grow that, it's just going to build the balance if all things stay equal, right? So the goal in 2025 is $34,000 worth of options income. So far, we're about $15,000 away from that goal, and because we're about 19 some change, so we're about 55% of the way there, which is really good. I'm happy with that, and we're just gonna keep striving towards that. We're about 90% of the way towards our $159,000 balance. We'll just say $160,000 balance, sitting at about 144, 145,000, depending on the day. And we're pushing forward. Q1 of 2025, we had $12,281 worth of options income. Q2 so far in the first 2 months, we're at $6,809. We're gonna have to have an absolutely insane next month in order to beat that. I don't think we'll get it done. I think we'll probably end up around that $9,000-$10,000 mark, and I'm more than happy with that, right? Just based off the goal. So that's where we're at. That's the update for this week. We just continue moving on and moving up, selling cash secure puts, collecting a couple grand each and every single month. We're getting into a nice rhythm. We're putting some nice averages down, and we're building the account. So that's all good things. And as long as we stay up and to the right, then I am happy in the portfolio. So that's the trades for the week, up about 80% in the portfolio, and we are at new all-time highs in the portfolio, which is always a good thing to see. Hopefully everybody's portfolios are going well. Hopefully you guys are making some money selling some cash secure puts and covered calls, and you're collecting that monthly and weekly rent each and every single week. So appreciate everybody as always. Happy investing, and we'll catch you next time.